The Grand Major, Arc Raiders, China. Embark has been busy for Season 8, themed around the esports scene and mythology and Robocop, I guess. After the 7th season, which was honestly one of the best one we've had so far, we all kinda accepted something a lot less exciting. But I don't think I've ever been this mixed about a season yet. And I want to take the opportunity of making this review so late to really look back on the past few months. Because while there have been some great, and I mean more than great additions, there's also a lot of not so great things to talk about. Hi, my name is Creed, and we are back for another season review. As always, I'm going to be very critical on purpose to make my point, as I usually do with these reviews. And feel free to debate with me in the comments, cause there is stuff to talk about in this one. And yeah, sorry for my voice, I'm sick. I don't usually sound like an e-boy. I don't want to waste any more of your time, so as always, we'll look at the new additions and tweaks from the menu perspective, top to bottom, then move on to gameplay, bugs, and other topics I have. Alright, so starting off with the level cap, which has been raised to fucking 500. I'm sorry, but if I see anyone pass the 250 mark, I'm going to ask you to get outside immediately. And as I've already mentioned in this season reviews, I wish they had kept adding cosmetics as level rewards, but they simply moved them to the rookie contracts instead, which are rewards from various challenges. And I honestly think this is a great move. I still don't think the level badge idea is very exciting, but I'll get over it. I'm willing to take this sacrifice for a better new player experience. Moving to social updates, you can finally change your Embark ID from the in-game menu. This was long overdue and has been something that a lot of new players were very confused about. You can also link your Discord to your game so you can invite more people easily and have a open party setting so people can join you without consent. Yeah, I will not be using any of these. Moving to the contestants tab, the biggest update is Playstyles. Now, I've just made a whole 23 minutes video dedicated to this specific addition, so if you want my in-depth take on each build and the addition itself, feel free to watch that video after this one. Please, I need your watch time, thank you. But to give a quick recap, these are pre-made loadouts aimed at new players that you unlock throughout playing the game. Probably the best new player addition so far. The loadouts are all fun to play with and really do a great job of showcasing the variety of the finals gameplay. This is probably one of the best additions of the whole season. Straight into customization, effects are now separated from the cosmetics. So for example, the effects from the Ultimate Battle Pass can now be put on any outfits. And God, it's such a cool addition. This was something I thought about, but I was like, well, you know, considering how few effects there are in the game, I don't think Embark is going to. Well, never mind then. Also, pieces. Great. Amazing. And while yes, I think most of them aren't really that exciting so far, I always love some more customization options. Also, 2 new outfit slots. I don't know why we can have like 50. Is this a server or storage issue? But for the first time, I've officially run out of space. Going to equipment, we are going to start with the 2 new weapons this season. Starting with the long-awaited P90 for medium. Now, this is medium's first SMG, and while I'm part of the P90 fan club, at first I didn't really find it interesting. Looking at the other options for medium, there are so many cool and fun options like this, not you, and this. And to sum up how the P90 is passing itself in the medium kit, it's basically an AKM with less range, less recoil, higher fire rate, and max size. Why even bother using it? Then I realized it's an AKM with less range, less recoil, higher fire rate, and max size. Maybe it's the clips of cat girls playing BF6 that influenced me here, but for the first time in years, I found myself having quite a lot of fun tracking with this weapon. Its forgiveness makes it so much more fun than what it looks on paper. Its main default is damage, obviously, and I'll be the first to say that I've lost dozens of times because I just got outdamaged by other guns with a lot more punch. But yeah, it turns out an AKM with 20 more bullets and great hip fire kicks ass. Oh, and also, I want something like this for the Eclipse Shade variation of this weapon. Please, Embark, thank you, Labis. Talking of kicking ass, let's move to the big boy of this season, the BFR Titan. Now, not only is the name sick, this is pretty much a high caliber, sniper-like revolver for heavy. Huh. I wonder where I heard this idea before. Jokes aside, immediately after this weapon was announced, I was insanely hyped for it. 5 bullets, dealing 90 on the body and up to 135 to the head, up to 45 meters. Hell yeah! I like to compare this weapon to the Case-23 as they share a similar unforgiveness and aim focus. Since the very first time I've used it, it's been a lot of fun. And sometimes it's not a lot of fun because it takes me 5 whole games to warm up my aim with this thing.
Wow, okay, what the fuck?
But when you hit your shots, it's something else.
Okay.
Why is it not working? Yeah, we could only afford 7 seconds of this track before getting copyright striked. So, that's it? That's the sick edit supposed to show how satisfying the weapon is? Well, I mean, we could still play the clip over some copyright-free music. Alright, pack it up, this fucking sucks. Now, with both these weapons, new sights have been added. For the sake of this video, I'll only cover the new ones and not the existing sights that got added to other weapons. Starting with the Quick Spark, which you can find on the BFR, V9S, and Revolver, which is basically if a red dot and an ACOG at a baby? I don't... We've also got the Magnifex, which I can best describe as a Gen Z auto sight, which you can find on the XP54, LH1, Repeater, FAMAS, and FCAR. I really like this one and use it on a couple of the mentioned weapons, but if you use this instead of the regular holo on the FCAR, we cannot be friends. And the third new sight, only found on the Pike, called the Iron Vantage. God bless there is another option for this weapon, as I still can figure out where to aim with these chevrons. They break my brain. Alright, you can also now change your reticle color, something Call of Duty would have probably charged $20 in a bundle. Now, given how bad the past 2 XP skins were, surely the level 12 skin is going to be a banger, right? I'm not even mad, I'm just disappointed. I guess it's the best looking out of the 3, and from the pattern I'm seeing, this is the end of the Cloud skins. Thank God, by the way. I'm going to spare you the rant about skin grinding in this game, as I already mentioned it in almost every single video I make, but for those who are checking if anything changed, no, it's still boring. Oh, and you now have a button to try out equipment and weapons from the equipment window, which basically cues you into practice game mode. Cool, I guess. Now, let's go over what really matters, the store. And for the sake of balancing, I'm going to start with the good, the really good in fact, the esports bundles. Right off the bat, great addition, amazing addition. The fact that Embark delivers such high quality bundles for the orgs while Blizzard gives simple and hollowy colors for $1 million prize pool on Overwatch says a lot. I really like the fact that they're all sponsored by an in-game brand, and let's just pretend that the fact that there are now 50 new Iron skins doesn't bother me, but I'll also skip the country bundles being limited in time because I think it's stupid. Like, are we really making FOMO out of 400 multi-bucks? But one thing I cannot skip are the recolored bundles. Since the end of last season, Embark started delivering 2 of the same exact outfits at the same time, but with a simple color change. Now, on paper, while I find this lazy, I don't mind. You get to have more customization options, and if you were to get both of them, you will get a small discount from the fact that you already owned an emote from a first bundle, for example. But then comes the story of the Plague Doctor set. The exact same set, with a simple color swap, 2400 multi-bucks, and the same emote. Twice? If you wondered if there was any discount or reward for getting this same emote 2 times, the answer is no. I understand that because this is a real money-only bundle, it will be complicated to implement a store discount on every platform, but in my book, this is morally wrong. Also, apparently, Xbox players had one of the 2 bundles 50% off. My source is a comment under one of my TikToks, so take it as it is, but I've been seeing a rise of these kind of unfair behaviors for Embark, and while so far there hasn't been anything really problematic, I still don't like this trend. If they keep pushing this unmoral direction, direction, you will be saying something for me. This saddens me because Embark truly has a wonderful microtransaction system, one of the best out there, that could almost be qualified as fair. But I'm going to stop here because unfortunately, I still have some more cosmetic run to do in the newest Battle Pass. Now, while the mythology around the world vibe is a bit less my cup of tea compared to last season, there are a lot of great bundles and elements. But then, you look up at the bonus page, and I think it's finally time to say it. It sucks. The only thing I'll genuinely maybe use is a Trentilla jacket, but these are all simple recolors and straight up epic skins for some random weapons. To remind you, we used to get things like these. Some of the best cosmetics in the whole game used to be in these pages. These used to be exciting to grind for. And I know I'm not the only one complaining about this, so what happened? Last season, I defended the lack of a good bonus page with the overall quality and quantity of the free regular and ultimate battle pass. But let's compare them for a second. In season 7, the free battle pass got the final mythic reward for free. Sick! This season, you get the Smoke Say outfit, and while it's probably my favorite outfit in the whole pass if we don't count the ultimate variation, it's only legendary. But something new was introduced to free-to-play players this season. Parts of full outfits locked in the paid battle pass. I'm sorry, but what the fuck? For example, on page 7, you get the Breaker's gloves that are included in the God Stitcher outfit on page 8. And they did this with almost every outfit. Not only are you splitting sets through multiple pages, but we're teasing free-to-play players now? Really, Embark? And things don't get better in the paid battle pass. When, in season 7, we got only 5 weapon epic recolors, and those were from the bonus page, this season alone we get 11, with 6 in the bonus page. And we went from 6 legendary weapon skins to 4. And no, this season we don't get a mythic skin either. Oh, and maybe I should address the 3 outfits and a half. Well, basically we have this half Anubis set. There's just a chest and a headpiece. Guys, you forgot the pants. And this is where it gets really messed up. The ultimate battle pass, in the other end, quantity-wise, is better. 2 more weapon skins and outfits. Almost. For some reason, the Anubis headpiece with the cloth hanging is only equipable with this chest piece. Like, why is this still a thing? I've skipped all the slop like charms, emotes and other stuff because even if I personally care for it, most people don't. And don't get me started on the backgrounds and borders this season. It's awfully worse. If you felt like you got less this season, you're not crazy. It's a fact. This is a literal downgrade for the same price. And no, I don't think that the Ultimate Battle Pass being the only one improved here is fair whatsoever. Again, I personally think that Season 7 was the best Battle Pass we ever got, and while these are all just cosmetics that don't alter the gameplay itself, microtransactions are basically how this game is still alive. If you're going to put such high standards on yourself, you should take responsibility and try your best to deliver similar results. And I genuinely wish that I could tell free-to-play players that the sponsor track is worth it this season, but I'm sorry, it's the worst one we ever got. I don't know why we only have 2 sponsors this season, as there's no low excuse this time. And while I'm really happy to have some more Trentilla cosmetics, it's all very mid. Even the final rewards are... I know I'm being a bit harsh here, but this is the first time ever I'm not excited to get any of them. Hell, at the time of recording this, I don't even know which one to pick. I guess Alto is great for those who didn't get the chance to get the Hammer in Season 4, as it's the best sponsor track reward to this day. I sincerely hope that both the sponsor track and, more specifically, the Battle Pass situations are temporary. But I must mention that I'd still rather have this than Embark leaning into crunch culture, but we'll see over the next few months. And it wouldn't be a Creed video if Embark didn't decide to add 20 new fucking things right before I was about to be done with this fucking video. They just released the Great Major Pass, which is basically a time-limited mini battle pass themed around the major for 1,150 multi-bucks. Now, the cosmetics in the past are great, like genuinely really fucking good. Not only do we finally get to have Namatama as a pet, we also get a Durag, which means we can get an Atlanta Oak. But even if I would consider that you get your money's worth, I can't help but feel like this is something that should maybe be given to Ultimate Battle Pass owners. I don't know. And I also wish there was some free rewards thrown in there for the free-to-play players. You have until the 10th of December to purchase the pass. Some might mention that this is another form of practice, but from the description, once bought, this remains in your account permanently. So technically you could buy this now and get it next year. Overall, for me, this is a W. DOST. The day you people make a bad soundtrack is the day I all up, I swear to God. Game Time, The Silver Kid, Legends in Motion, and their wide cinematic brass truly makes me feel like I'm about to get on stage for the major. Overload Arena with its mix of orchestral and electronic music like Den, Veni Vidi Vici, which I'm not a fan of, but finally Major Overture, which feels like a big soup of every track that they've ever released, with a secret elevator song in the end. You know what? Hell yeah, banger as always. I only have love and respect for the music and SFX team at Embark. Staying on this good run and coming to gameplay, let's talk about Gamemodes. First, because Terminal Attack is gone! Truly a Reddit moment. Shout out to the 5 people who enjoyed it. Sorry for your loss. I'm personally still recovering from the Season 3 ranked incident trauma. They've replaced Terminal Attack with head-to-head, which I personally don't care that much for. It's like getting straight to dessert, and I'm unsure it's worthy of a slot here, but from what I understand, it's a fan favorite, so good news. And I want to go over a quick review of the 2 events we got this season, which I can summarize as biblical accurate heavy hitters and infected, or a literal copy and paste of an old event to promote too much. Even if it felt a bit lazy, Heaven or Earth was still a ton of fun and the rewards were genuinely great. To be completely honest, I couldn't tell you if I preferred this one or heavy hitters, but I mean at the same time, Chuck mentioned. As for Ghoul Rush, I think it really grew on me over time. Like a lot of people, I wasn't a fan of the free-for-all format at first, but it ended up making things a lot more unpredictable and fun. My only complaint is that I wish they really pushed the horror theme with some jumpscares and such. However, I understand they could have ruined it for some in the crowd. But what we really need to remember is the new system replacing the wheel. Thank you, Embark, for making the wheel a thing of the past. I am healed. I am whole. Also, the Orc skin is the best event reward we ever got, but please bring back the grunting verse lines. I don't know why they're gone.
And if you felt like Heaven or Earth was lazy, they literally re-released Blast Off from last season. Embark, I feel like you could have at least changed the map here, but on the bright side, the rewards on this event are again, some of the best event rewards we ever got. They're all themed around the real-life Ospools drink they just released, and like the BFR skin. But personally, Blast Off was already one of my least favorite events they ever released, so I'll only play this one for the rewards.
Now, we didn't get any new maps, but there were tweaks over the seasons on multiple existing ones. The most noticeable is a new suspended structures variation in Monaco, which I freaking love, by the way. Kyoto got a small overhaul, which, while it made it a bit better gameplay-wise, I still feel like I'm rendering 15 files while playing this living hell. But also, Cis Horizon and Seoul got some tweaks around the pain points, and in my opinions, these 2 maps got the smallest but best improvements. And with the major, all maps slowly got their appearances updated. And since a couple of weeks ago, we also started seeing walls around the arena as well as a thicker crowd, meant to represent the hype for the upcoming events. Or could this simply be Multico hiding the 3 frogs from CNS? If you didn't understand a thing I just said, that means you haven't watched my low breakdown video, and that makes me sad. It's a great video, 2,479 people agree with this. Also 29 apparently didn't, but don't listen to them. They're probably NGMO fans. Finally getting in game, let's talk about the improved destruction again. No, this is not gaslighting, they literally improved the destruction again. It's insane how we collectively thought it wasn't technically possible to get past what we already had, and I can't believe how much better it is. I genuinely want to take a moment and show appreciation to Embark for improving something that didn't really need improvement, as it already cleared the competition and made them look dated. I'm talking about you, BF6. Another pretty big gameplay addition is the kill cam, called Replay in this game. Now, apparently, it's a technical miracle that they managed to implement this in the game, so congrats guys. I don't understand video games, I just play them. It can be fun, for me personally half the time it's more of an issue than anything else, but we'll come back to that later. They've also revamped the whole match recap UI, and oh my god is it sexy now. Look at all these graphics that my weird brain can make sense of. Also, rating system. Cool, so if you threw a game, it's here to remind you that you statistically sucked ass. Thank you, Embark. I'm going to quickfire the rest that I felt was worth mentioning, but it's still pretty self-explanatory. Dead Go Boom is now a permanent game show event. That's great! And please Embark, keep adding them, they're super fun. Apparently, they have updated matchmaking to put more emphasis on separating pre-made parties and solo players in matches. I didn't notice a single difference, to be completely honest with you. There's now a grenade indicator and sound, which basically nerfed the living hell out of the grenade, so I don't know how to feel about it. There's now a background shader compilation, which should make everything boot faster, and my slow-ass 2060 magically doesn't seem to be affected by this. There's 2 new challenges in the practice range. You get to defend a cash out against bots, or get to parkour with a cash box and discover that your movement is actually chopped.
Pets now make sounds when you emote. The reason I mentioned this silly little detail is because a couple of videos ago I talked about how pets as a whole are a missed opportunity, and I think this is a step in the right direction, and I hope they make them even more interactive in the future. The game will start being supported on the PS4 by the 10th season. How was the game even running on a 12-year-old console? Yes, 12. We're getting old.
There's mouse and keyboard support for console. Lightmates now have to find another thing to complain about on a daily basis.
And last but not least, a voice moderation test has been rolled out. Meaning, I quote, to keep voice chat safe and enjoyable for everyone, we temporarily record snippets of voice chat when our systems identify potentially harmful behavior or significant violations of our code of conduct. This is potentially very fucking bad. To me, this feels exactly like the chat control plan in Europe. For the unaware, it's a proposed EU law that's been pushed for years, designed to scan online communication to keep kids safe from online weirdos. And while on paper it's selling itself for a moral reason, this is in reality the key to open the gates of online mass surveillance. But I'm going to stop here because this is just a seasonal review of the finals. Now, I'm all up for making video games a safe place for everyone, because let's be honest, telling a woman to go do the dishes because she simply used a microphone or saying the hard R in Big 2025 is fucking embarrassing. But no, I don't like the fact that Nexon gets to have snippets of my voice stored somewhere for God's not what reason, because yes, this is obviously Nexon's doing as you agree to the terms of services. I'm going to keep a very close eye on this one and just hope that it's not as malicious as I think it is.
But I also need to address something for the first time in one of these reviews: the bugs. Oh my god, I have never had so many bugs in a season since launch. I can't tell if it's a me thing or the result of my computer getting old, but this season felt noticeably different. The biggest one is the loss of frames. I've lost up to 30 frames per second, which when I struggle to get past 80, it's getting complicated. Kyoto is now officially under the 75 bar, and I often get 50-ish while fighting. Cis Horizon used to be a perfectly fine map and, well, not anymore. And for some reason, Citadel is almost as bad as Kyoto now. Again, this could just be a me thing, but this has made the season a lot rougher than it should have been. Another thing that is also broken for me are the kill cams. Half the time they make my game cry for help, and whenever I get rest, I get a solid second or two of freezing, along with some visual bugs after getting revived sometimes. But 2 bugs I've gotten that really make me go crazy are: sometimes when using the zipline, my camera just completely spazzes the fuck out, and the fucking communication wheel cursor randomly placing itself somewhere else. The amount of times I've just wanted to be thankful for revive, but instead my cursor was on the I need help button, making me look like the biggest dickhead in the lobby is embarrassing. And yes, I still struggle with the communication wheel. I still don't use any of the sounds or emotes to this day because the whole thing is just confusing to me. Like emotes being separated from the sounds and then having sprays on the third page and the favorites for some reason. I could be just revamp the damn wheel or make it so I can apply the same one to every contestant, please. Now, those who've been watching for a while know I'm not this usually critical of the finals, and I want to make it clear if it hasn't so far. Overall, I still think this is a great season. We simply used of getting such good seasonal content that this ended up being one of the worst ones. And as I briefly mentioned in the intro, this could all be explained by the launch of Arc Raiders, which has always been Embark's main focus, as well as the Grand Major, which I'm also quite excited about. But is it worth sacrificing casual content for esport enjoyers? Has the finals always been a booty call while they were finishing Arc Raiders? No. The answer is obviously no. If the finals was really a financial hookup, they wouldn't have put so much effort into the Destruction update this season alone, among updating so many unnecessary small details throughout the past 2 years. This game is obviously and still is the result of a passionate team of developers, and I really don't see Embark letting this game off the sidewalk for our creators. More so, I think we could see more people coming to work for the finals now that the main project is released. As for the majors, my guess is that it's the first time Embark's team ever got involved in an esport event. Having actually worked myself in events for a brief time, I can tell you it's incredibly complicated and time consuming, so I genuinely understand how they could be a bit overwhelmed with a freaking DreamHack in Stockholm. By the time the next major comes up, they'll very probably be more prepared. Still, I do feel like people who don't care about esports got a very overwhelming season, as it's literally centered around it. But if you haven't already, I genuinely was not expecting to have so much fun watching these. The qualifier were literal cinema, and this is coming from someone who doesn't necessarily watch esports. I have pretty high hopes for next season, as I do every 2 seasons with, you know, the pattern of one big season, then the other one is more filler. I know that Embark is cooking a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes, as we've already got some teasers. I also don't want to start a riot, but a medieval season is actually coming? Holy voice crack. I genuinely can tell if it's an urban legend, running joke, or fever dream at this point. If you've been watching until now and haven't played the finals yet or plan on coming back, give the game a chance. It is still my favorite modern shooter right now, and after 8 seasons, it doesn't get old. Let's just hope that they keep up the good and the bad ends up becoming a bad dream we forget about. I've got one more bit of bad news. The next video will not be the FHL list. I know, I'm sorry. But something very cool and unique is on its way. Those who have been following me on my socials probably know what is coming, and I'm so hyped to give you my first real life video sooner than you'd think. Then I promise the next video is the heavy tier list, so we can finish this trilogy with a banger. In the meantime, you can check out my Playstyle video, which is an extension of my Season 8 review. I've tried blending gameplay and essay in a video for the first time. It's a fun watch. And a quick but obligatory bit before finishing this damn video. As you may know, these reviews are the origin of this channel, so they're always a bit emotional for me. Again, we have bumped up by another 1,000 subscribers since the last one. I don't think you guys realize how motivating all of your comments, messages, and support are on a daily basis. It literally fuels me to make these videos. Backstage, the situation has been very rough. Way rougher than I've quickly described on my socials. And the story will be told one day, but in the meantime, there's still a long road ahead. So, thank you. Obligatory social plug, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Who is watching these videos past this point? Like, why? God, my fucking voice. Oh no.